Active, lead us into Renegade and Lucid versus Trippy and Stellur.
This is going to be one hell of a matchup that we have here. Former teammates in Renegade and Stellur, current teammates in Lucid and Trippy going at it here in 2v2s, which, let's be honest, most of these players, they've been doing their 2v2 thing for quite some time.Maybe Lucid, I haven't seen too much of in 2v2s, but come on, he's Lucid, he can do anything.
He can do it. He can do it all. But here we go. It's a little bit what I thought we'd see in this game and in this series. It's a tie game thus far, 3-3. Lucid does have the shock rifle though, and you see Renegade at the back of A. A trade will come out on this side. Renegade with a clean kill, so that'll be the first lead of the game. It's going to be 5-4 now in the favor of Lucid and Renegade.
So far, neck and neck between these two, which is no surprise here. As far as when it comes to individual skill with the bandits, movement, and everything, I feel like we're pretty evenly matched between both of these squads. Maybe I would say slightly in favor of Renegade and Lucid, arguably two of the best players that we have in Halo Infinite, but I think the difference maker really becomes these power-ups and who's able to take control, who's able to really take advantage of power-ups and power weapons. So shock rifle and camo, watch out for those, because that's most likely going to be the deciding factor between these two.
Yeah, the thing that's scary for me as well is, like, you know, Lucid and Renegade, definitely, you know, top caliber players in the game. I would put both of them in the top 4 players of the game. I think going through that elimination bracket, you get all that warm up, you get all that extra play time that you wouldn't necessarily get if you just made it to the grand finals, or you're bound potentially and legend waiting in the grand finals. You get all these reps, and that's sometimes what you need to continue to be on fire in these tournaments. Renegade, though, gonna miss a shot, ends up getting taken out.
I was actually surprised that Renegade let this stay over toward the gold side as long as he did with that shock rifle, as opposed to like maybe rotating through long haul, getting a better position for fighting for camouflage. But either way, clearly works out in their favor. Back-to-back kills, still has the shock rifle enhanced. Camouflage was burnt, so not able to be utilized by Trippy and Stellur. Really going to work out for Lucid and Renegade. Still only up by 1 kill.
He's got information on at least 2 players now, I would say, because he saw Trippy and he saw Stellur on the top of glass earlier. So, see what they're able to do with that info, though. Renegade, great job again, not taking a lot of damage. Lucid, though, caught out. He ends up getting pushed right there. Renegade's not able to react to either one, so wants to try and play this slow, but he's going to get pushed as well. His ability to get a trade here is what he's looking for, and unfortunately, that is not going to be the case.
And that's what both teams are going to do time and time again. They're going to get an easy kill and then isolate that second player, force the split spawns, and turn 1 kill into 3. Trippy and Stellur doing that masterfully and taking control of the game because of it. No camouflage on the map. I think shock rifle still probably is waiting for a bit here. Now it's just Stellur, Trippy, and bandits only.
Stellur, all he needs is bandit, apparently. Gets Renegade to fall. Almost wins the 1v1 versus Lucid. Lucid gets out with his life as well, so that's just going to be huge. Those little lives that you're able to play. As Trippy gets a perfect. We're going to make sure that this game doesn't get out of hand, and that's exactly what's happening. 12-8 now. Some individual pivs won by Trippy and Stellur.
You know, I said I would give Lucid and Renegade a slight advantage when it comes to the individual skill, or at least on paper, but as of right now, Trippy and Stellur are playing absolutely lights out. Whether it's individual skill, whether it's just the great fundamental 2v2 game, they're winning all facets of the game. But Renegade did get away with camouflage, one thing that Trippy and Stellur didn't want to see happen.
Yeah, Renegade's a very individual, kind of isolated type player, right? He's always going to go for those 1v1s, always going to go for those flank plays, and camo completely allows him to do that. The problem is, Lucid just died in the kill feed, so Renegade is there to trade, but he gets naded out because the information is given. Now a 5-kill lead for Trippy and Stellur, who've been playing out of their minds. They continue to do so against probably one of their biggest tests in this tournament, even though they had it before. And earlier in the tournament, I believe it was the earlier winners bracket. It's still a bit different here as we get into the later stages, as Stellur is not missing.
Double kill.
All right, Stellur, I see you. 3 kills in a row once again. Trippy and Stellur putting some distance in the scoreboard. against Lucid and Renegade, and Stellur is simply not missing with this shock rifle. Let this man cook.
Yeah, you said Stellur, I see you, but I don't think Stellur is hiding at all. I think he's in the open. He's channeling everything. He wants every shot. Gonna miss that one barely, but a 10-kill lead now, 20-10. Trippy and Stellur making this nearly impossible for Lucid and Renegade, but when we talk about those two names, I don't think anything is impossible. But you gotta get down Stellur first, and he finally falls, as well as Lucid and Renegade fall.
Little battle between the current MVP and the previous one, Stellur and Lucid, going at it just a bit, but Stellur did have the shock rifle, making things a bit unfair. Stellur is the first one to go down of the duo, though, so the same thing Lucid and Renegade had done to them is the same thing they can do to the opposition, but Trippy shooting absolutely lights out against the demon, trading out his life there, and that's just kind of been showing everything that's been going on as far as this entire game. Trippy and Stellur, just everything working for them, even in the craziest, non-advantageous positions, they still find a way to grind forward. They still find a way to prevail, and game number one, it goes as quickly as it came. It's going to Trippy and Stellur.
I mean, do you see anything different here going into game number two is my question for you, Tony. Solitude, do you see Renegade and Lucid just having a different flow to this game as opposed to Recharge?
Oh, 100%. I think the same thing I've said since we got on the broadcast, the same thing kind of rings true. I don't think there's a single team that's going to have a clear-cut advantage against the likes of Trippy and Stellur on Recharge. I think this is the best Recharge duo that we have seen so far on the stream at the moment here. Where Renegade and Lucid, I can definitely see them wanting to play more in open field. I can definitely see them wanting to get tricky when it comes to the movement and collapsing on teams and really punishing those spawns. And when I think of that, I think of both Solitude and Livefire more than when I think of Recharge with the way that the map flows. So I don't want to count Lucid and Renegade out just yet, but there's, you know, we can't sit here and deny the fact that Stellur and Trippy, they had their way.
They definitely had their way, and you can see a little bit of kind of like a GG go next at the very end there by Lucid. But the question is, we're now going into game number two. Will Tony's prediction be true? Will this be a different game? Will Renegade and Lucid feel comfortable on this map in a 2's environment? Let's find out right now.
Trippy and Stellur both electing to go straight through yard. Love those nades that they dropped early. If anybody would have contested that, it most likely would have been obliterated right away. But with nobody watching camouflage, Renegade sneaks right in, has the confidence to fly out for it activated. Meanwhile, for screen, Lucid gets a kill. So maybe a high-risk, high-reward play come out of Trippy and Stellur and not going to pay off for them. Now to see how they respond with their backs against the wall. You're down by one. You don't have any power up or power weapon control. That's in the hands of Renegade both.
Yeah, Renegade surely does have both. Camo does dissipate, though. Renegade pushing on with his teammate here. Lucid cleans up that kill. Trippy gets a favorable spawn on the side of the map, and a great job right there by Lucid and Renegade to not fall, as they were very weak from the previous engagement.
Now it's up to Stellur and Trippy to try to find a way to weather the storm. Like even right there with Renegade and Lucid not pouncing right away, you would hope they can get on the same spawn cycle and try to break out together. But the moment they take one step, the moment they breathe, one breath, Renegade and Lucid are in their faces, making a 6-0 start. And Renegade still has that shock rifle. You see Stellur lining up the nade, gets his head lined up. That's a fade he won't forget.
Yeah, I mean, Lucid was expecting the push from an opposite angle, but you saw Trippy and Stellur push from the same exact angle, which means Renegade does fall, but 8-1 is a large lead here. Stellur finally picks up a kill, gets traded out very quickly, and that's something I'm seeing, right? Lucid and Renegade, like you said, a bit of an opener, a more open map, I should say. They're making sure to clean up that damage that they're able to cause.
Yeah, smaller map, faster pace map, and that's what Renegade and Lucid want to play at. They don't want to slow things down to a recharge pace where Trippy and Stellur maybe feel a bit more comfortable, at least from what we've noticed so far within this tournament. 11-2 start. Lucid 7-0 at the moment, and Renegade not missing. If you thought the series was over after game number 1, you were sadly mistaken.
Definitely showcasing dominance here as Lucid and Renegade. I did not know where Trippy went, but Lucid did. He put a blueberry right on his face. And now a 13-3 lead for Lucid and Renegade as they continue to stagger spawns, isolate players, and play some perfect 2v2 Halo.
You know, they say a blueberry a day will keep the doctor away, so as of right now, Trippy Stellur looking healthy. 9-1 start by Lucid, not quite able to get a hold of that killing frenzy. Stellur didn't get it earlier with his hot game that we saw in the last series. Shock in the hands of Stellur. If there's any chance for them to slow things down and really kind of turn the tables a bit, it's going to be on the backs of a power weapon. It's going to be on the backs of this Shock. Stellur, former teammate in his sights. Body shot not enough, but the headshot on what could have been his teammate, I guess. Or there was rumors going on.
Whoa.
Hey, I'm just saying, there was rumor. We all heard this. We thought Stellur was going to Optic for a little bit. Yeah. Reigning MVP and previous MVP.
Definitely some mix-ups. Gonna be interesting to see how those pan out, but Renegade still looking championship caliber with a beautiful 2 shots. That's gonna secure him camo as well.
When we talk about the reigning MVP, we talk about the previous MVP, and we're looking at who could be the next MVP, and that's Renegade. Because let me tell you, at the end of Worlds, there was no question in most people's minds, Renegade best in the game with how well he played and with them closing it out. It's a 19-8 lead, still in favor of Lucid and Renegade. Stellur was able to grab a hold of yet another camouflage. Trippy with the kill onto Lucid. So I say it all the time in twos, you can't count a team out. Even down by 10, it is still doable. Stellur and Trippy having that camo, but not having the information on where the heck Lucid and Renegade are hiding on the S1 side of the map.
And that was 100% Renegade right there, playing slow, right? When he saw Lucid go down, he played slow. They're both stuck at the bottom of lift, though. And you would think that would be damning, but it's not. Trade comes out, 20-10 now. Trippy looking for some damage, but has to turn away as the spawn is coming on to blue. Renegade, because of that, he will live.
If I'm Renegade and Lucid, forget just hiding there to waste the camouflage. I'd say you have an 11 kill lead. I say you go back down there. Go back down there, hop in both corners, and you make them work. 6 minutes of 45 seconds of HLG. And for those of y'all who don't know, Hidden League Gaming, look it up. It was a thing back in the day. I'm not even joking. I'm saying it. No reason for you to push up. Go hide right now. Why are you shooting? Go hide.
Did you have a team in the HLG, Tony?
I was HLG pro. Let me tell you, you weren't catching me. You weren't catching me.
Well, there you have it. I don't think hiding is what will happen here, as you see a big push coming through, but what a dominating performance. A complete contrast in what we saw from game number 1, and you called it yourself, Tony, and you predicted a little bit of the same here in the next game on Live Fire. We'll see if that's the case. I wouldn't like it so much, but Live Fire, here we go. It's game number 3 here. Lucid and Renegade versus Trippy and Stellur. A dominating game number 1 for Trippy and Stellur, but Lucid and Renegade taking their dominating game in game number 2. It's tied up now. We'll see who takes the third one.
2-0 start coming in from Stellur and Trippy. Much different start than we saw on Solitude, and we should see another little bait and switch. Trippy does the initial damage. Now Stellur's going to move in to try to finish off that kill. Meanwhile, the multitasking is perfect out of Trippy and Stellur. Trippy was able to get a hold of the camo, sticks Lucid, and sends him back. They're going to be talking about that in the locker room and the next team meeting. They're going to be playing that on replay over and over again. Lucid's going to tell Trippy to make a play or tell him he made a mistake in film reviews. Like, yeah, you know what? Well, watch this.
Oh my word. Are you kidding me? That was absolutely incredible. The QT play out of Lucid. I think that's the one they're going to be watching over and over in the review room, because that was phenomenal. Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah, that was dirty. I ain't gonna lie. He got him right back. I thought the sticky and repost play, that was fun, but that right there was nothing fun about that. That was disgusting. Lucid, no longer having the QT to work with, but still has a few nades, including the spikes that gave him problems just before. Trades out his life with Trippy. A momentary 1v1 between the Demon and SS Jesus, tied up at 5 apiece.
What a contrast in personalities there. Renegade has the sniper though. I think he has 1 bullet to work with maybe, but he's gonna get taken out regardless. I don't think the sniper has any bullets left, so it'll be just down to the quantum translocator. It's coming up in 3 seconds, and Stellur just diving right towards it.
He wants to make sure that Lucid doesn't get into his hands again. I'm not mad at you on that one, but now Stellur having the opportunity to use it himself. I do see active camouflage kind of showing up a little bit. I would imagine about 15 seconds or so. We could see that pop. Stellur ends up instant transmissioning himself right out of the mud side over towards green, and now they're quickly going to try to flip these spawns. Make sure that Renegade and Lucid don't spawn over towards the camouflage. Renegade down to 1 shot. Same for Stellur, but Trippy gets away with camouflage and takes no damage while doing so.
Camouflage number 2 for Trippy here. The first one, he was able to solidify a 4-0 run for the side of Trippy and Stellur, but this time we'll see what he's capable of. Looks like he's pushing pretty aggressively here. I believe he does have help on his backside towards camo spawn, but I think he's gonna opt to maybe go for that sniper. Decides not to, pulls out the pistol for turn to center. Beautiful repulse on the nade to take out Renegade.
Beautifully played by Trippy. The counterplay onto that grenade leads into another kill. And now look at that. Isolating players, splitting those spawners. He puts Renegade down to 1 shot. I'm wondering if Stellur can get the cleanup.
Stellur has a snipe here. He's got to be careful. This is a very important weapon to utilize, but it looks like he might try to jump off with it. He does. Not going to be able to survive. Thought maybe he wouldn't get the kill, but sniper off the map now.
I think he had 1 more sticky, but let's see him throw a sticky right back on the map, like as he's falling. Imagine that hits Lucid, it'd be crazy. As Lucid ends up being chased down by Trippy. 14-8 lead. Trippy and Stellur still have control in a swing game number 3. Oftentimes in a best of 5 series, the team that wins game 3 ends up winning the series. That's just math.
Yeah, I mean, that math is not going to pay off, Professor Tourney, because these teams have been back and forth all day long, and I'm sure they will continue to be all the way through to game number 5. And we'll find out here shortly. You Lucid, we've seen what he's capable of with that QT. They make sure to put him down quick. And it's now Renegade all by his lonesome whiffy. There goes Trippy.
Whiffy. There goes Trippy. Yeah, that's a new one. That is definitely a new one. Trippy on screen at the moment. Off his spawn, has Stellur to work with. Less than 30 seconds, we see active camouflage, but that is so much time for anything can happen, including a couple rounds of slays. Bait and switch action coming from Trippy and Stellur. Stellur awarded the kill with the sidekick. Trippy somehow able to stay alive. Right back in the action he goes. Challenging Renegade. No fear in the dojo. Stellur gets the cleanup, also gets away. Active camouflage coming up, and Lucid's trying to figure out where the hell does Stellur go.
Sometimes you do have to challenge like that to just kind of solidify dominance, right? It's like a dog peeing on a tree. You just got to make sure they know that you mean business, and that's exactly what's happening here. A 19-10 lead for Trippy and Stellur. It's constant back and forth in this series, and it's going to continue to be so as Trippy and Stellur in dominating fashion looking to close this out.
Trippy doing what his teammate tells him all the time for him. He always says you gotta piss on him. Get aggressive, play fast, get those wins. That's exactly what we're seeing. 21-10. Trippy and Stellur absolutely going off. Renegade can't quite chase him down and get the kill. As of right now, Lucid having a tough time with the 3-11 stat line. Make it a dozen as far as deaths.
There it is. A dozen as far as deaths, both of them. A baker's dozen is 13, so one of them's gonna have a baker's dozen, right, Tony? So, I mean, we'll see who that is as Trippy pushes on really aggressively onto his teammate Lucid. And it's Trippy. 14 and 7 out of him. Again, it's just really interesting to see the contrast between the first game where they dominated Trippy and Stellur, second game where It was Renegade and Lucid with a 25-13 win. I mean, goodness me. Recharge. It really looks like Stellur and Trippy based on that game number 1. We'll take this as well. And that's exactly what you said. If they don't want to go to that game 5, they've got to win this next one.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we've noticed that Trippy and Stellur are the best recharge team that we've seen in this tournament so far. But one thing they kind of admitted themselves, they hate solitude playing, at least playing 2s on solitude. So really going to be interesting to see what happens here. In my opinion, you have to close that out, especially being that we're going to recharge, which has been your bread and butter. Otherwise, we're going what should be your best map out of your own words or out of your own fingers. He typed it because he typed it. So you got to close it out. I wonder if they're going to be able to do it.
Look at that.
Oh,
Can we rewind that, please? Can we please? Can we please?
Look at that. Look at this. What is this? What is this?
He QT's the melee, and then just, I don't know. There's a snowstorm that took out Soul Snipe's internet. Maybe there was a snowstorm in Trippy's house as well, and he just, this is nuts. Look at this. Goodness, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't hit a shot on that strafe. That was disgusting.
I don't know why y'all got some aim assist, right? Don't mouse the keyboard have aim assist now.
Goodness, here we go.
Don't y'all got a little aim assist?
It's not aim
What's
assist.
the problem?
It's friction, Tony.
What's the
Friction.
problem?
You know friction, like when you put a balloon to your hair. Friction.
I know a little about friction. Let me tell you, man. It ain't appropriate for the ball guy. I teach you a little something. Don't worry. BR in the hands of Stellur, holding Lucid back by himself. Meanwhile, Trippy, I think he might have been able to get away with that camouflage, taking damage now. Now, actually, Trippy got away with camo.
Okay. He got away with camo, and Renegade's trying to play his life here. Stellar's going to be pushing aggressively, though. Trippy's not going to be needed in that scenario. Lucid's trying to fly in to help his friend. But, oh no, not again. Okay, there it is. Good job. Trippy ends up cleaning him up. The shock rifle and a little bit of a bag. I mean, it's a little bit of pressure playing against your teammate, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but, like, whenever I played against my teammates, I just had this ego where I had to show them I was better. And that's probably why I'm casting today. So, yeah.
I'm right there with it. It means a little more when you're playing against, whether it's friends or whether it's current teammates. I actually had the chance to match up against LVT Halo. They were running as a full squad, team of 4, 90. It was Louis, Tools, Mikowski, and Eli the Sensei running as a full team of 4 against me, solo dolo, again with teammates who didn't know how to play the ball, and I handed them the fattest L of 2024. We in January, 2 weeks in, but we're gonna talk about that another time.
Disrespect, Tony.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna need another duo because Tony's going to be fired after this match. But anyway, here we go. 6-3, a 3-kill lead here for Lucid and Renegade. A bit different than that game number 1, but it's what we love to see. A bit of, just throw a wrench in it real quick as Stellur gets another kill. And now we're only 1 kill away from another tie.
1 kill lead indeed. Stellur did find Renegade over toward the Whirlpool side, but a spawning player onto the gold door, and somehow Stellur ready to get the kill, ready for the push from Lucid, and turns it into a double. That's my MVP right there. That's my MVP. Jeez.
Well, honestly, it might sound a little weird, but you're kind of able to tell when someone is, again, in that flow state, and you can tell by Lucid's reticle, Stellur's reticle, I apologize, that he's starting to feel real good right now. So I would love to stay on this POV just to kind of see what he's gonna do, but a 9-7, a 2-kill lead now. Looking for Lucid. Lucid's so smart. He turns to the wall so his gun is not poking out the side. And because of that, Stellur gets caught off guard, down to no shield, still gonna chow, but gets taken out.
Up by 2 kills at the moment. Excellent damage coming in from Lucid, taking down Trippy from long range, bringing us back within, I believe, just 1 kill. Meanwhile, Lucid makes his way over toward the H side of the map. Renegade right on top of him. Another 2v2 scenario. Damage is out. Renegade down to 1 shot. Trippy and Stellur both backing down, but the nades are coming in quick. Trippy being left by himself. Lucid and Renegade anticipating that he's backing down, and they both played the longer route, cutting him off immediately. Lucid and Renegade taking the lead.
It's just interesting to me that it's just such a close game. I absolutely love this. Maybe they learned a bit from that game number 1. You know, you hate when I use the term, but maybe they downloaded the strategies. I just think that when you play someone and you get dominated like that, you know that there's a reason that it happened. You know what their tendencies are, and you're able to kind of play off of those for this next one. You can see a very slow pace out of Renegade, which is 100% not what we're used to seeing out of this man. But it's working out for him because he gets another kill with no trade. Does not go down, and a 2-kill lead now for Lucid and Renegade. Make that 3.
Back-to-back kills right there. Stellur spawning over toward the C-plat, makes it into long haul. I'm not sure where Trippy's gonna spawn here, but looks like Renegade and Lucid are cutting off his options early. I said I didn't know where Trippy's gonna spawn. I found out real quick, and apparently so did Renegade.
Still a 2-kill lead though. Stellur's gonna pre-fire a bit. Takes out Lucid with that camo. Now it's down to a 1-kill lead. We're gonna have a very close game here, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare. Make sure you get your popcorn, or if you're on keto, your blueberries. Tied up, 13-13.
I'll tell you, man, good. People on keto and vegans, man, they have to tell you what their dietary. We're talking about Halo right now, and so 14, tied up at 14 apiece. Lucid down to 1 shot, turns the corner over towards his spawning player, somehow able to stay alive, but an opportunity for both Renegade and Lucid to reset and also to rotate out of that A side quickly and without being seen.
Yeah,
as of right now, I bet Trippy and Stellur are guessing.
Yeah, and Trippy's in a good position to guess, though, too, right? He's on that glass side, just there's so much information. Up there, he looks like he rotates, though. They're going to be rotating towards his A side, so basically both teams just flip on the map. So Stellur does have the shock. We'll see if he's able to get that first initial pick, and we both know what happens when that first initial pick goes through, Tony.
There it is. Stellur gets on Renegade. Almost gets chased out and eventually does end up going down. Lucid not going to allow Stellur to get away with that shock. Tied up at 16 apiece once again. Stellur did spawn over toward the C side of Long Haul. He's pushing in quickly, but he pushes right past Renegade. And now Renegade gets some early shots, gets the kill onto Stellur, trades out their lives once again. But Lucid and Renegade end up out of that situation at an advantage, and maybe with the camouflage as well.
Yeah, just a great job by Lucid right there to block the spawn with the plasma grenade. He also threw a nade at Glass, and that allowed his teammate and Renegade to spawn there. Very aggressive, but hits every shot, and it'll be huge for him now because now potentially, I believe, shock rifle coming up very shortly. There it is. About 10 seconds left on that one, but Lucid getting some massive value out of this camo.
4-kill game right now. Lucid and Renegade 4 kills away from tying up the series and sending us into a game 5 that Trippy and Stellur don't want to see because it's on Solitude. They have to find a way to end it. They have to find a way to slow down Lucid, who's coming in quick with the grab one. Ends up right back over towards safety. Somehow Trippy with the nade onto Renegade. Was that across the... Where did Renegade die?
I have no idea.
Oh my god. Wait, yo, Trippy was in gold. How did he die? Oh, what is happening?
5 minutes remaining.
Everyone's all over the place here. 22-19, though. Stellur with the shock rifle. The most important position on the map, but you can see doesn't provide any value, so decides to move up quickly. The trade comes out for Trippy and Renegade. This will be the 24th kill for Lucid, or it could be the 21st for Stellur, and it'll be both, Tony.
One more kill needed. Lucid and Renegade have an opportunity to end it right here, right now, especially when you give the Demon, the shock rifle, the most important item here on Recharge. Stellur and Trippy, they're going to gather their forces because they're not out of it just yet. I know Lucid and Renegade only need one, but it looks like Stellur and Trippy, they take the first. Renegade no longer having his life nor the shock rifle to work with, and Lucid down to 1 shot is forced to rotate out quickly. But do Trippy and Stellur know that Renegade spawned over towards A, and he's pushing forward here? They have the opportunity to use this camouflage as bait. Trippy and Stellur are in a bad situation compared to Renegade and Lucid, who already have a 2-kill lead. Lucid down to 1 shot, refuses to go down, and buys enough time for Renegade to get away with the camouflage. This could be game.
That was a massive miss right there by Stellur. Not to call him out, but It literally allowed Lucid to live on the cross, and it allowed Renegade to go in it. No, he didn't get. Oh, he did get it. Okay, I was really nervous that he didn't get the trade there. He did. 25 to 23. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a game 5.
Let me tell you guys at home, there's not 2 words that I love more here in esports than game 5. And maybe game 7.
Okay.
Game 9, game 11.
True.
Game 10. There's nothing I love hearing more than an elimination game in a series, and we are going to just that. Solitude is going to be do or die, and the last time we saw these 2 Titans going at it, Lucid and Renegade, they ran house in that game too.
Double kill.
Oh, it's a very different series than we saw in that early winners bracket. It's a very different game of recharge than what we saw in game number 1 of this series. But now we go to the Solitude map where you saw Trippy and Stellur literally said this map is bad in 2s, and Lucid said, no, it's not. So there's already arguments ensuing. I think some fists are going to be thrown.
He said the best. He said the best, actually. I want to go to this. This was scary, honestly, toward the end game. I think we're about to see it here real soon.
Okay.
Renegade, I thought Renegade had the back smack set up on Trippy. Oh, I was like, but towards the end of that game, I thought Renegade had the back smack set up on Trippy. Then didn't. Then was fighting Stellur in this awkward battle where he threw the sticky grenade. It was. Oh wait, you might be seeing it. Hold on. Oh, do the stanky leg. Do the stanky leg. Okay. All right. What? That's what he was doing. What do you mean? All right, so I guess we'll see the end of the game as we're waiting for players to come into the lobby. But eventually, Lucid does a great job over toward the goal side. He understood the assignment. Renegade approaches. Lucid has to buy enough time onto both of these players in order to allow Renegade to get with the camouflage.
Yeah.
Does it. Understand the assignment completely. Renegade goes ghost like Danny Phantom. So we see the jump, we see the skill jump. Love this. I think he has a kill onto Trippy, ends up going after Stellur there, and that sticky doesn't connect. That got really scary for a bit. Ends up dropping a couple grenades that luckily Marty Dom and end up getting him from the grave. But honestly, if Renegade goes down here, I think Lucid's still on the opposite side of the map. I'm not sure he can pick up on that damage, and we may be talking about an entirely different game. In fact, we may be talking about the series ending right there. So things did get a bit scary for Renegade and Lucid right there. And maybe, just maybe, we were close to not seeing a game 5.
Well, here we go. We are in a game 5. Everything is added up to this point right here. This is the elimination semifinals. So the team to lose this will be done. They will be out of the tournament. Renegade has camo, decides to stay alive here, but in a tricky situation on the top center of the map. He has info on both players, or at least one. So he'll make his move. I really love the play, though, by Trippy to back off there and just recollect himself and be with his teammate.
Wow.
Wow.
Renegade ends up getting caught with the camouflage. You could tell he wasn't even going to pick up those grenades. He wasn't even going to even pick up the plasma grenades to give off any information, but still gets spotted and dealt with. Lucid turns it into a double kill, and just like that, a 2-1 lead. Lucid and Renegade have control.
You know what just amazes me and just aggravates me at the same time? Lucid has been, taking a little break. He plays Halo, pretty often, but he's been playing a lot of Warzone. It just looks like he never left. This guy just literally, that was a headshot off that repulse on glass. He just doesn't miss. And now a 3-1 lead for Lucid and Renegade. A little bit of what we saw in that Solitude's game in this series, the previous one. Now in game number 5, maybe we see something a bit different from Trippy and Stellur, though.
I mean, he's fighting 4 versus 100. So I mean, 4v4 must 2v2 must be easy work. That's the trading. You play battle royale in order to succeed in arena. Shot is connecting with the shock. Sends Stellur flying, but doesn't exactly connect with the kill. Stellur working the truck, working that cover, eventually gets the nade off onto Lucid while going down himself. A momentary 1v1. Camouflage is coming up. Trippy says, I don't need to fight you. I'm gonna grab Camo and not get away. Renegade with the burn.
Yeah, great job there. Lucid gets his 1v1 as well, so it'll be now a 7-3 lead here for Lucid and Renegade in this game number 5. They have information on the spawns too, so see Lucid trying to get that cross angle, but Stellur takes him out with a nice kill.
That ends up leaving Renegade by himself. Cross map shots onto both Trippy and Stellur, feeling confident as he knows they're both literally across the map, and he knows that Lucid should be spawning up real soon, but bites off a bit more than he can chew. Renegade definitely didn't want to get average from across the map like that, but it's gonna happen, and now Lucid gonna work with Renegade off his spawn. They find the first kill onto Stellur. Trippy in the exact same spot. Lucid wasn't ready for it, and Trippy was able to get a hold of that kill onto Renegade and looking to get one more.
Pushing onto Stellur here. Great kill. Great cleanup by Lucid once again. Great job, though, to trade out. Trippy gets that trade out. Has to fight 1v1 versus Renegade. Great positioning. He stays on the top side of this fight. And because of that, he's able to drop in. But Renegade wins those low percentage fights. That's what makes him one of the best players in the game, individually at least. And he gets another one as well with that nade.
Both Trippy and Stellur going down. Renegade snatches up the shock rifle because of it. Camouflage still has a bit of time to come up, so Trippy and Stellur are going to work their way towards the strong side of the map. They definitely want that LR and posters control, but just because they want it doesn't mean they can have it. Lucid takes down Stellur. Renegade trapping Trippy, who just barely makes it towards the LR tunnel, but looks like Lucid might be waiting for him. Stellur almost catches a headshot himself. Trippy and Stellur dying one by one, falling like dominoes as Renegade gets himself another advantage on the map.
Yeah, just a really great job by Renegade, though, with that shock. He's going to solidify Campbell, but the play previous, he does a really good job of utilizing unorthodox angles, and that's what makes these players some of the best in the world, is they're able to take those off angles that are not expected and get kills with them. 14-7 now. Renegade trying to clean up Stellur. Stellur's going to do his best to stay alive, but Renegade will spot him out. There'll be 2 down and a full wipe. And a potential spawn on the snipe side. I think Stellur's going to spawn out, maybe, potentially. He does. He spawns onto that blue, so Renegade is ready for that.
It's game number 5 here. Do or die for both of these teams, and Lucid and Renegade nearly double the score line of Trippy and Stellur. Meanwhile, Renegade still has that shock rifle in hands, no longer has the camouflage to work with. Lucid, you can only imagine his position is known over toward the nest side, but they don't know that Renegade's just creeping every corner, waiting for them to fall for the bait for Lucid and maybe catch a long-range shot with the shock, but Lucid ends up going down, ends up finding both Stellur and Trippy. Renegade, perfect shot onto Trippy, domes him real quick, equalize the situation just a bit, and now with Lucid on the same spawn cycle, we see more 2v2 action on the map.
Stellur and Trippy isolated here. Looks like they will come together, though, as Stellur makes his way towards the LR. Trippy looking to push in the 1v1 versus Renegade. And he does not get the trade. Renegade comes out with the reversal, the beatdown, the killing spree, and everything else, Tony.
Some way, somehow, Trippy and Stellur, they have to slow down Renegade and Lucid. This is quickly getting out of hand. I have said it multiple times that no matter what in 2v2s, you're not truly out of it, but you're not always going up against the 2 best players in the world in this esport. Stellur chasing down the one shot. Lucid ends up getting the kill. Should be able to grab a hold of this camouflage before Renegade gets involved, and there it is. Stellur, camouflage and shock once again, only down by 7 kills, so it's not impossible, but it's pretty damn close to improbable.
Yeah, this is the turning point here, though, if there is one, right? Stellur with everything in his hands to change this scenario, to change the direction of the pendulum. It's how, like, I don't understand. Someone check him PC, please. That's actually insane. He gets the stick on the camo player. It's only 1 kill that Stellur is able to get. with Camo and Shock. And now 4 kills is all that remain for Lucid and Renegade.
Some way, somehow, you gotta take advantage of the sandbox. When you have Camo and Shock and everything else to your disposal, you have to go on large swings, especially when you're in a deficit this bad. And it doesn't happen. Lucid may be in a bad situation right now, but I mean, they're still up by 8 kills if I have my math right. Making 9. 2 kills away from ultimately ending the series right here. Lucid taking down Stellur. Both players end up going down. Trippy spawns over toward the cafe side. Renegade is quickly in the action. And I'm not sure Trippy's ready for this one. Trades out. Spectacular. It looks like Lucid and Renegade are advancing forward. Trippy and Stellur go down.
Wow.